Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mohammad Herda with study number 104. In this presentation, we want to explain about Sitophilus oryzae in rice. Next. This is a member of group 6. First, my Daffa with study number 104. Muhammad Yusuf effendy, study number 105. Karenzky Yehezkiel Putra, study number 108. Putra Setya Darma, study number 109. Farel Erda Pradipta, 111. This is the table of content. The topic 1, biology and morphology of Sitophilus oryzae. Topic 2, classification and stadia. Topic 3, sampling and technique. Topic 4, monitoring method. The first topic is biology and morphology of Sitophilus oryzae.
Sitophilus oryzae or Putera curculionidae is one of the storage pests that damage rice and various types of flour. This pest causes damage to stored material so that it becomes powder or the occurrence of clumps in various types of flour that in attack. In addition, the attack material will also grow fungi that are harmful to humans when eaten. Next. The next is morphology and biology of Sitophilus oryzae. Young imago is red-brown and old age is black. On two front wings, there are 4 reddish yellow spots. Each wing has 2 spots. This beetle has a long snout, blackish brown color, and sometimes there are 4 reddish spots on the elytra. The age can reach 5 months. If it's going to lay eggs, the female beetle makes a small hole with a muzzle about 1 millimeter deep. The female beetle pick up grains of rice with the snout and lay an egg, and the hole is covered with a tox secretion. The covulation period is relatively longer than other warehouse pests, Azuana and Marjun 29. Next. The oval-shaped eggs are laid by one in the burrow, which is covered with the rest of the hoop, white in color with a length of 0.5. Each imago produces eggs for 3 until 5 months, with the number of eggs 300 until 400 eggs. The eggs pass is 5 until 7 days. After hatching the larvae, they are legless, fat, weight measuring 3 mm, foraging rice and eating it, which is also a place to live and develop in it until it becomes a pupa. The larva stage is 13 until 15 days and is the most active stage of life. When going to pupate, the last larva will make a cavity in granules after experiencing the pupa phase on the 4 until 7 days. The young beetles emerge for the rice. After 2 until 5 days, the adult insects inside the rice grain come out to mate. The life cycle from egg to adults is 28 until 29 days. Optimum development occurs at a temperature of 30 degrees Celsius and a relatively humidity of 70%. The attack of life cycle from egg to adult is 28 until 29 days.
The next one is biology and morphology of Sitophilus oryzae. Classification. The classification of Sitophilus oryzae, according to Borer and DeLong in Mohammad 1998, is as follows: Kingdom Animalia, phylum Arthropoda, class Hexapoda, subclass Pterygota, suborder Polyphaga, superfamily Curculinidae, family Curculinonidae, subfamily Calendrinae, genus Sitophilus, species Sitophilus oryzae L. Stadia, insect Sitophilus sp, including a group of insects that undergo complete metamorphosis. The growth and development of this insect goes through 4 states of development or stadia, namely the egg stage, larva stage, pupa stage, and imago. The rice beetle's life cycle begins with the laying of an egg in a hole by the imago on the rice grain. The hole is then closed with the hard rice beetle secretion or saliva. The female beetle can lay up to 300 eggs in a few weeks. After hatching, the larvae eat the rice they live in and develop until they become pupa. Young beetle pupa emerge from rice after becoming an adult. The beetle eats the outside of the rice until it has holes. The female beetle burrows rice grains with her snout in the field or in the rice barn. The life cycle from egg to adult is approximately 26 days. Meanwhile, the egg of the beetle can reach 3 to 5 months. If not given food, female beetles can still live 6 to 32 days. Its development generally can take place at a temperature of 70 to 34 degrees Celsius with a relative humidity of 15 to 100%. Optimum development occurs at a temperature of 30 degrees Celsius with a relative humidity of 6. If the relative humidity exceeds 18%, this powder beetle will grow up rapidly, tolerant to temperature, and can live for 37 days at 0 degrees Celsius.
The next is sampling technique. Next. Sampling technique. Sampling was carried out actively by purposive sampling, namely by taking sample in the form of rice suspected of being attacked by pests. The criteria for the sample being attacked by pests are indicated by the presence of insect in the sample and or the presence of symptoms of insect pest attacked in the sample, namely the presence of waste residue on rice. Rice sample were taken at the corner and the middle diagonal, each of which was 250 grams, then put into a jar and covered with fine gauze. Sampling was carried out for time with an interval of 2 weeks. A sample is labeled according to where it was taken, then taken to the laboratory for observation. Rice samples were observed once a week for 1 month. Next. Next is monitoring method.
Then the monitoring technique of Sitophilus oryzae. First, monitoring of Sitophilus using refuge traps. Refuge traps were made from 2 mm thick with white cardboard sheet which was coated with plastic for protection against the weather and had no corrugation. They were of rectangular design, measuring 10.92 cm, and were open on the 2 larger sides when assembled. The traps had no stepping plate or flap to guide insect in. To kill any weevil that entered, the traps were treated on the inner surface with contact insecticide, then fold and held together using rubber bands. each square meter of trapped inner centimeter cubic of water containing 12 gram acrylic superwettable powder, giving permethrin 1 gram and firmipos methyl 2.5 gram AE meter square. In the first test, review traps were placed in the maize script and were loaded with one of the 6 treatment. Trapping was initiated 8 weeks after shading the maize scripts with the weevil. One trap was placed in each rib, and each treatment was applied singly to each of the 6 ribs according to a randomized sliding square design. Treatment were changed weekly for 6 weeks, giving a total 6 replicate for treatment. Adult weevil capture were counted and placed in label vials containing 70% alcohol for subsequent sexing and dissection of genitalia for species identification. In a second test, the case of weevil in trap place in my script was compared with that of trap place on the or of the barn. The trap on the or were located at a central point between the legs of each crib. The trap in this test were loaded with one of 3 treatments, 2 mg Sitophilus, 2 mg of Sitophilus plus 4 gram of cracked wheat or had no treatment or control. Treatment positions were allocated according to randomized sliding square design, covering a period of 3 weeks, with 2 replicates of each treatment weekly, giving a total 6 observations per treatment. Next, the second technique is monitoring of Sitophilus using flight traps. Flight traps were constructed with the same white cardboard as used for the review trap and secured using araldite glue. The flight traps were of open design with vertical bevel made from 2 intersecting pieces of card 840 cm, sandwiched between 50 cm square and place. A top center portion of the bevel 5 cm was cut away so that pheromone and food attached dispenser could be suspended by a pieces of wire from the top plate, thus providing an unobstructed pathway of air movement to expect dispersal of pheromone and food odors. The inner surface of the trap structure were lined with non-setting glue, bulk Tanglefoot Redogi Limited, to entrap insect. The trap were suspended from posts at 1.4 meter above the ground and arranged in 6 positions, 5 meters apart, in a semicircle around the barn at a distance of 3 meters from the wall. 6 treatments were tested being allocated to each of the 6 trap positions according to a randomized sliding square design. Treatments were allocated to a new position weekly for 6 weeks, giving a total of 6 replicates per treatment. Adult weevil captured by traps were removed weekly and placed in label vials containing petroleum spirit to remove the non-setting glue before sexing and dissection of genitalia for identification. Next. That is our presentation about Sitophilus oryzae in rice. If you have a question, feel free to ask. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.